What is up, guys? Thanks for coming by to episode 3 review of Chernobyl. Before I get started, I'd like to send out a little apology to anyone who's seen the first 2 episodes of this review for the series. For some reason, when I downloaded the episodes, the sound came out a little bit louder than it should have. With the background sounds and my outro and my intro, somehow it was too loud for some people, and I don't know how that happened. So my apologies. I'm going to make sure this one does not come out that way. So let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. And as usual, guys, I'd like to hear from you. Tell me in the comments below. Keep it a friendly conversation, of course. What did you think of tonight's episode? Is it something that intrigued you, that makes you want to watch the last 2 episodes? Or have you just had enough of it and you figured, okay, I'm not going to bother watching this? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you're interested, click on that subscribe button now and the bell as well in order to hear any notifications from me for your future enjoyment. So this episode's titled Open Wide, O Earth, and I have to say this is the most intriguing one so far. This one delves more into a conspiracy-like theme. They're investigating that something is not right, that I feel like, to me it felt like they were covering up something and they're being watched, these people that are trying to find the truth, and you get to see what it's like from the view of a civilian. In this case, I'm talking about the wife and her husband, the firefighter, which you've seen in the first 2 episodes. Here you get to see what happens to them. You get a better look at what's going on and what it looks like from a person that doesn't really know what's going on compared to the other characters. So this episode begins precisely where the last one left off, where we find the 3 men that were given the task of preventing the thermal explosion in the factory. After that job, they come to find out that there is an imminent meltdown at hand at the factory, and if it isn't stopped, it will contaminate the water, thus endangering the lives of thousands of people surrounding Chernobyl. Once the conversation of the meltdown occurs, the episode branches out into separate storylines, all connected, of course, just like the last episode. And quite a bit happened, more than I was expecting in this 1 hour. So one portion of this episode deals with the coal miners, how they are called into digging this tunnel in order to prevent the water from being contaminated once the meltdown occurs. I gotta tell you, these coal miners, I felt so sorry for them. They had to endure so much with the heat, how the radiation was possibly affecting them. They had to come to the point where they had to take off their clothes in order to feel comfortable. And at the end, they asked Sherbina, are we gonna receive help? Are we gonna be cared for? And he just says, I don't know. And that's like a slap in the face. I would have been pissed. And for anyone that knows their history well, I'd like to know, tell me in the comments, how accurate was this? During the moment the coal miners are creating the tunnel, there is one specific scene that stuck out to me with Sherbina and Legasso, Jared Harris' character and Skarsgård's character. They're having a conversation about the human effects from the radiation. And while they're talking about it, they're being followed. And at the time, we, the audience members, don't know who that is. This is the part in the episode where it made me feel like it was very conspiracy-like, that there's Big Brother everywhere watching, listening, trying to find out things. And it also made you think, okay, who do we trust here? Who is hiding something? And it made it feel almost like a mystery. It turned out from a disaster type of show, a drama, to more of a conspiracy. Another big portion of the episode deals with scenes at the hospital. We have 2 events occurring at the same time. One is with Emily Watson's character, the scientist, where she goes to investigate and interview the victims of the initial accident, which are the factory workers. They are close to death, and she's finding out why this happened, how did it happen, and what can be done to prevent it from happening in the future. She eventually finds out more than she expected to, especially with us, the audience member, and it gives you that, once again, that very much of a conspiracy feeling, that there's a cover-up, people are lying. She gets arrested by the KGB at the hospital, so it does become very intriguing in that sense. And you have another sequence at the hospital that's dealing with the wife and the husband, that's the firefighter that I mentioned earlier, and she's there to find out what happened to him and how to deal with that. She's kind of in denial because she thinks that her husband just has severe burns and has no idea how much the radiation has affected him. And their scenes together are kind of personal. It has nothing to do with politics or the government or the situation at hand at Chernobyl. It's just between the husband and the wife. So I like those scenes between them. But to add on to the scenes at the hospital, the victims, it gets very graphic in this episode, so be prepared for that. Really though, I think out of this episode, the hospital scenes, they just pack the biggest emotional punch, because you have the couple, you have the investigation, and then you have these graphic images of these victims that will be embedded in your brain, and you'll be thinking about it long after the episode. At least I did. As for the end of this episode, I feel it kind of ended on a somber, emotional note. As to the last 2 episodes that dealt with a more thrilling cliffhanger, And I'm not going to say what happened at the end of this episode because I know this is history, but even if you're watching the show, I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But like I said, it ends on a sad note, but it made me personally intrigued to see what's going to happen next, because I'm pretty sure the next episode is going to delve even further into this investigation in order for these key characters to find out the truth. In conclusion though, great episode, very intriguing, very emotional, and full of conspiracy. Tell me what you think once again in the comments below if you love this episode as much as I did. I hope you tune in next week for the next episode I'll be reviewing, and I have much more in store for movie reviews as well. This is Ryan the Movie Guy saying, I'll see you at the movies.